Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Combat Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Stockbridge, throwing up a double bicep as our friend Hollywood Matt Connolly can't be with us as he's still on the other side of the country enjoying some hard-earned time with his family. But joining me today is Sebastian Temesi. Now, Sebastian is the current under 88 kilo Sambo Champion of Australia. Sebastian, thanks so much for joining me.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
No worries. Thanks for your persistence. I know last week it was a little bit difficult. We tried to hook up and have this discussion then whilst you were overseas. Mate, were you overseas for recreation, or was it a Sambo behind that one?
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a recreation. It was planned for the last 3 years. So
this is the holiday you should have had at COVID. Yes, and then COVID happened. Exactly. And from what I understand, Sambo is one of those sports at the moment that's offering a lot of the amateur athletes that chance to really travel the world and take it all in.
Exactly. It's very good and it's growing. It's getting very popular amongst Asia and the Oceania region. So it is growing and there is chance to travel, yes, training camps and competitions. So it's a great opportunity to do all of that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's some of these emerging sports that have kind of come out of that MMA era where, there was a time when you had all of these individual sports and then they got almost like pushed together into the world of MMA. And now you're starting to see some of those traditional sports and pursuits start to emerge again in their own right. And Sambo, along with, I'd say, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, are two of those disciplines that are now very much standing up on their own 2 feet. They've got a really well-organised sporting body and they're taking the sport to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it is very good. And these bigger, higher-level guys, let's say Khabib and these guys who started off with Sambo, like there's two kinds of Sambo, the sports Sambo, which is a little bit softer, and then they've got the combat, which is with the striking. So that like it's a bit of a softer version than MMA because you are wearing like shin guards and headgear, and there are some rules in it. So it is a very strong base for MMA, whoever wants to get into MMA later on or would like to do either. So.
And how did you fall into the sport, Sebastian?
I started off with judo. So I have 26 years of high-level judo experience. And then recently they came up with the nationals, and there's a few competitions. We'll be competing in for the Asia Championships in Kazakhstan in early June, for sport and combat sport as well. So with the judo, the sport Sambo is similar to judo with the old judo rules. I like to think of it that way. There are different ruling and scoring, but the base and the techniques are very similar. So my transition was fairly smooth, but so with the strong judo base, it helped out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So, and who invited you along to Sambo? Or did you already know about the sport before being encouraged to give it a try, or was it just something that somebody's kind of bundled you up in the car and led you to a Sambo tournament and said, "There you go, have a go at that"?
No, I did know about the sport. I never thought about competing, but I did know about the sport. I grew up in Europe, so Eastern Europe, not too far from Russia, but all of those Eastern Europeans are strong wrestling base. But I know about the sport, and then they came up as if I start competing. If I win nationals, I can compete at bigger championships. So last year we went to Kyrgyzstan for the world championships, for the sport championships. So that was a great experience and really liked the hang of it. So,
wow.
So,
and from what I understand, and in talking to some of the key people in and around Sambo over recent times, it's more than just a sport. It's almost like, say, Hapkido or karate, in that there's a real cultural element there behind it as well. And a lot of people are very proud of its military roots and the way that it was very much the Soviet sport, not just the Russian sport. And now as those individual countries start to develop in their own culture, it seems that Sambo is playing a real role in helping these various satellite states start to emerge in their own national identity.
Yeah, it is very good. Yeah, it's true. So they still have, like, judging by the last year's World Championships, there was quite a few judo players, but it's a Russian national sport. So it started off from the military. So it is a very tough sport. as in like doing all their stuff. So it's it's good for all sorts of areas.
And you're also an MMA athlete. So what percentage of your time now are you dedicating to Sambo as opposed to the other disciplines of striking and your stand up and other wrestling forms?
Well, I'm based in Cairns, so up here they're not. It's
You're
very
just
hard
wrestling crocodiles, basically. That's just when you go for your walk along the beach.
Yeah, wrestle with a But yeah, it's hard to mix it up here. So we kind of break it down to different areas. So I do the Thai boxing, do boxing, do wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, all that. So it depends what day, what it is. But within the judo training, we mix it up with the Sambo as well. So
And now you've been around Sambo for a little while, and obviously being the national champion, where do you see the future of Sambo? Do you feel like it seems to me, of all of the sports that are on the peripheral, it's got a really good structure and seems to be doing all the right things to encourage people who are perhaps around the MMA sport that might not have grown up in Sambo, might not be in that kind of old Soviet tradition and have that familiarity. That Sambo is really trying to reach out to the broader martial arts community and attract new talent, and seems to be providing several pathways. So from what I understand, here in Adelaide, just a few weeks ago, we had the beach Sambo competition, which if you happen to be one of the finalists or one of the winners there, you could have gone on and gone to the Caribbean and fought it out in the Dominican Republic. And you'd think, well, that's a tremendous incentive for people to become involved in what is a sport where there might be only dozens of participants at a competition, as opposed to say judo or BJJ, where there's often now hundreds of people that you could be competing against.
Yeah, exactly. It's reasonably new, but it is growing sport. So they are trying. So there was that beach Sambo in Adelaide not long ago. I did win that one. So I am.
Oh, congratulations!
That'll be a cool little trip to the Dominican Republic.
Nice one.
Even new to me as well, wrestling in sand. So that was an excitement. But there is a great opportunity. So yes, 2nd of July there will be a sport and combat Sambo competition in Adelaide. It's open for everyone. So whoever wants to nominate and fight and give it a go. If you do win that, there's an opportunity to fight at the World Championships later on it'll be in Yerevan in Armenia.
But I love the way that Sambo's quickly adapted to its respective marketplaces. For instance, you've now got beach Sambo, which seems completely appropriate in Australia, where it's the one plentiful source of soft ground to be able to land on, and there's plenty of it, and so much of the population lives along the coastline. But also, what a wonderful way to be able to invite people and expose the sport in a really kind of casual and nice way. It's a wonderful way to be able to engage with the public. And I guess whilst a lot of the clubs are still quite small, it means that you've got some really high level practitioners that are really engaging with the general public around Sambo at the moment.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun, and they make it entertaining. So it is good. Even you win, you lose, you're outside on the beach, you're wrestling on the sand, you give it a go, you give it 100%, and so it's a fun just as a game too. So it's not just if you want to do it high level, you can do it low level, give it a go. Kids, very good for coordination as a start kid. I'd recommend any sort of wrestling-based sport as a young kid, Sambo, judo, even wrestling, jiu-jitsu, anything like that, just to have the basic coordination for later on, whatever they choose to do in life. So Sambo is a great base for that as well.
Yeah, and you were mentioning before, you've had 26 years of judo experience. You've just your last fight at DFC last year was your last MMA fight. So you've retired from MMA. So
I wouldn't say retired. I'd still like to fight.
Hiatus.
Fight towards this the end of the year as well. So
all right, I'll let Ike know that you're waiting for the comeback. So
all right, I'll keep going until my body holds up.
Yeah, and how old are you now?
I'm 33 now. So
and how are you finding that the body's holding up after all these years of martial arts?
Luckily, I haven't had any operations, anything. I've been reasonably smart with training, and I suppose lucky with not too bad. It always have niggles, naggles, where it hurts, where it's sore, where you got to strap up. All those things will always happen, but luckily I keep going. So
and so is it just a matter of now of riding it till the wheels come off, or do you think you've got maybe 3 or 4 years, good years left in you before you start pulling back a little bit more?
I'd like to say I've got a few more years left, yeah. But but training will never stop, even if we stop competing high level or elite level. I'd like to train until forever, but we'll see how long it'll go for.
Well, it seems increasingly, we're getting athletes competing really strongly, especially in the grappling and wrestling sports, right into their 40s quite comfortably. And that's because it seems, I think with wrestling and grappling, it seems to be very much part of the lifestyle as well. Like people don't really want, you can have a bit of fun and you can roll around on the mats and you can take it easy, but still enjoy the technical aspect of it without having to necessarily be competitive. And that's enough to keep you sharp and healthy well into your later years.
It's a lifestyle. I've been training since I was 6. So
wow,
it goes, I actually feel guilty when I don't train or anything like that. So it's, I love it. It's good. So we keep going.
And what does your calendar look like for the rest of the year now? So you were mentioning the Dominican Republic. When are you heading over there?
Yeah, I think that's in September. So we're going to Kazakhstan, Almaty. I think they changed it. They brought it forward 1 week. I wanted to do judo nationals, but now it's in the same time. So I chose to do Kazakhstan. Asia Oceania Championship. So it's a big competition.
Yeah.
Sport, combat sports. So we'll be competing in both. That will be early June, and then 2nd of July there will be that open competition in Adelaide.
Okay.
September, we're going to the Dominican Republic for the Beach Sambo World Championships. And, hopefully we will be going to Armenia. I think that's in November, around November, the World Championships as well. So sport and combat Sambo, yeah. And then towards the end of the year, maybe December or whenever at the time, possibly a cage fight, depending on how we all go.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, in an era where a lot of athletes in the fighting game might only get 1 or 2 fights a year, you're really staying super active and seeing a whole lot of the world. I mean, did you ever expect that to be the case out of any of the combat sports when you first started your journey all those years ago?
To be honest, I have because of my judo background, I have traveled the world and competed all around the world with that. So it is the traveling and the managing your weight and all this stuff is very similar. So I have that kind of experience, luckily.
Yeah. Well, it's kept you in good stead, and obviously all this activity is keeping you in great shape and means that you're planning confidently for the year ahead. And Sebastian, you have mentioned those that open competition is here in Adelaide on did you say the 2nd of July?
2nd of July, yes.
Yeah. Do you know where that is?
I don't know too much of it. But
anybody, I know Sambo.
Or someone will advertise it somewhere, and then we'll all.
Yeah, well, I know the Sambo Federation has a great website. They're updating all the time, and you can always find out what's going on with their events. But if you've been thinking about Sambo, or you've admired it from afar, and you've not yet had the opportunity to perhaps test your mettle, this is a great opportunity for those guys that are good grapplers, excellent wrestlers, to go along, try it out. Who knows? You might win yourself a trip to the Dominican Republic or something. Who knows? And find yourself with a whole new passion in the world of Sambo. Well, Sebastian, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Thanks for sharing some of your journey with us. And it's great to see that Sambo's strong and healthy in Australia right now. In spite of all the things that are going on politically, Sambo seems stronger than anything that can throw at it at the moment. So, and with great ambassadors of sport like yourself, mate, I can see exactly why. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian Temesi, your under 88 kilo Sambo champion. Well, Sebastian, thanks so much for joining us again, and we'll look forward to bringing everybody there in the daily combat world more people like Sebastian next time.